So the story is called Last Prince of Atlantis. This is chapter 1. The title of the chapter is A Thief in the Night. On a still chilly night, soldiers from the Roman Empire slipped into a village of rebels. Their objective? To kill all dissenters along with the women and children. An assassin accompanied the legion, sent on a special assignment. The assassin was at war within himself as he witnessed the savagery of the demonic slaughter. The soldiers of the legion used their swords to hack and slash every living thing in the village. They had no mercy and seemed to enjoy the spilling of innocent blood without any remorse. It was as if the soldiers were possessed by bloodthirsty demons as they performed genocide on the last descendants of the legendary Atlanteans, who numbered 4,400. The false prophets, as the assassin's master called them, were a mix of all creeds and colors. The Atlanteans who formed this village were brought together by the lost knowledge of their heritage that hid in all cultures. This collection of people wanted to live as they did before the fall of man, outside of the tyranny of the Roman Empire. The sect of Atlanteans knew of all the ancient bloodlines of Atlantean kings. The villagers swore an oath to protect the true king and his descendants until the day came that the bloodline could restore balance to the world and sit on the holy throne. The Atlantean way of life held remnants of an ancient civilization that thrived in the light of God before being seduced by the forces of darkness. Once the golden age of man was corrupted by intelligences they did not understand, Atlantis gave birth to the rise of a moralist civilization, tainted by dark magic and high technology, leading every civilization since down a road of depravity and arrogance. The assassin was taught the opposite in the temples of initiation. The masters of his order made him participate in dark rituals meant to reinforce the wisdom handed down by the gods. The priesthood and his order taught that the gods led mankind out of darkness into the light of the intellect. The assassin was raised to believe these false prophets wished to spread a twisted version of the sacred knowledge, teachings which were meant only for the mature minds of the initiated. He was taught this sacred knowledge would cause chaos if unleashed on the profane. His order and the priesthood believed common people were unworthy of such wisdom and would only destroy themselves if not kept under complete control and ignorant of their true power. The assassin fought his emotions to stay focused on his mission. He wanted to believe that he was doing the right thing. Yet, after seeing such ruthless slaughter, he started to think he was on the wrong side. He had been an assassin, trained in the art of killing and the occult sciences since the age of 6. Over the years, he was responsible for killing dozens of leaders who opposed the priesthood and the Roman Empire. The assassin had worked as a spy, infiltrating kingdoms and councils, and was sent on his first assignment at the age of 12. Killing in secret in the name of his order and the priesthood was a great honor for him. The assassin never questioned his orders. He never second-guessed his actions and felt no remorse for carrying out his assignments. But this was different. He was always sent on a mission alone, never having to witness the evil and brutality that transpired after he cleaned his dagger. Now, while in the midst of bloody carnage carried out under the veil of night, his heart began to change. The assassin was of the highest rank in his order in the region of Kemet, leaving him to be tasked with murdering the royal family and kidnapping their newborn son. Once the infant was in his possession and safe, he was to deliver the baby to the priesthood. As the first fire started to blaze, the conflict in his soul made it hard for him to quiet his mind. This caused him to hesitate, and he wondered if he would be able to do what he was asked. The assassin moved through the shadows with the cunning of a fox stalking the henhouse. His swift, precise movements made him invisible to untrained eyes. Amidst the chaos and rampage of the extermination going on around him, the assassin was fully able to transform into the angel of death his order raised him to be. He approached his target's tent, where a lantern was lit. From outside the tent, his trained ear can hear the last true king drawing his sword to protect his family. The assassin crept closer to the opening just out of sight, with caution. His blood turned icy cold as he drew his dagger from his sheath. The assassin gave in to his refined instincts, allowing his years of training to take over. Then suddenly, with the grace of a ballerina and the force of Ares himself, he made killing seem like an art form. The assassin sliced the king's throat and stabbed the queen in the heart with one swift motion, taking the child from his mother's arms before she could let out her last breath. The assassin quickly snapped out of his robotic trance and looked at the caramel-colored child with pity in his eyes. The deed was done, and for the first time in his life, the assassin regretted taking lives. He wished he had disobeyed his orders. He wanted to turn back the hands of time and help the royal family escape. Instead, he was forced with the harsh reality of murdering the true king and queen, leaving their child parentless. Now, the babe would never know the ways of his ancestors and would be subject to whatever sinister plan the priesthood had in store for him. As the assassin became entranced by the child's powerful aura, his heart was filled with grief, and in that moment, he knew he could not fulfill the rest of his mission. Instead, the assassin wrapped the baby in a dead queen's cloak and took the necklace that held his family's crest from the queen's lifeless body. The assassin held the sleeping baby close to his chest and left the bloody scene of destruction behind them. Outside of the tent, the embers from the burning village danced on the soft winds, fading into ash like stars flickering on a clear night sky. The fire from the burning tents and bodies put off so much heat that it felt as if hell was on earth. The smoke from the inferno was so thick it blacked out the light of the moon. The air was filled with bloodlust, and the screams of women and children went up to the heavens, yet no help came. The assassin could no longer bear the devilish sight and took his leave, infant in hand, knowing that the two of them would be hunted by the priesthood and his order to the ends of the known world. That is the end of chapter 1. Are you liking the story